Cut your guts according to your size. Hello, welcome to my studio and welcome to another edition of Art Discussion with me, Adelaide Damoah. So I really enjoy probing the minds of other artists to find out what makes them tick and to find out the kind of challenges that they've had to overcome and how they've overcome those challenges to achieve the objectives that they really want to achieve for themselves in their careers. Hence this series called Art Discussions, during which, well, I hope that with these interviews that I can pass on some information to inspire you and give you some advice to help you along in your journey as an artist. So today's interview is with the artist Jemimah Canegrati. Now, Jemimah is one of those rare people who was very talented at painting from a really, really young age. In fact, she had her first solo show at the age of 19 and sold her very first piece at the tender age of 16. After Jemimah's first exhibition at the age of 19, she moved down to London, found herself an agent and managed to sell all of those paintings that she had on show for that exhibition. And she has been supporting herself and her family ever since, more or less, full-time from her artwork. So anyway, let's have a listen and see what she had to say about her journey so far as an artist. When did you know that you were an artist?
I'm still thinking if I am an artist. I enjoy art, and on my bios I always put that I'm an artist, and I suppose I am an artist because that's what I do. I create pictures and paintings, and that's what I do. That's my subject. But I think being an artist is something completely different to the practice necessarily. I think it's a whole lifestyle. And it's just a whole being. It's a different thing entirely to being just the word and just painting a picture. So I don't know if I'm just an artist still, really. I think it's just continuing, like, always evolving and learning and having a setback for maybe a year or 2 years and just considering it all the time. So I'm probably still learning to be an artist.
Learning to be an artist by being an artist.
Yeah, it's an odd thing. I don't know. I don't think you can explain it. This is why I'm against think you have to go and learn it at school, because I don't think it's something you can learn. It's like the University of Life some people put down. I've never been to university.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to university, ever. I have thought about it. I did think, when the children get a bit older, I'm going to go to university, and I thought, no, it's just not me. I'd rather go travel and learn from other people. I absorb things from people. I really absorb the frequencies of others and the auras of other people, and I feel like I'm taking in things like that. It's more subtle, it's genuine, because I want to be there and I'm putting myself in that position. And I think when you're open-minded and open-hearted, then you can absorb things and learn things better, and it makes you more productive and proactive. So I think that's the best way to be an artist, just to continually absorb things and be open.
Yeah. Okay, what would you say has been your biggest challenge today as an artist?
Oh, I think that is something that I'm still going through currently. I think being a mother and being an artist is something I'm going through. I don't know, it's a bit... I actually started off as a singer. I didn't actually start as a painter. I'd been singing since I was 16, and I was still working in a recording studio when I was 18, so they all kind of blended into one another. So I'd actually been a singer longer than I'd been more of a real artist, which is why I call myself an artiste, because it involves many of the other things. So I just think now, when you're painting, you need to just give so much of your time, you need to put so much of your energy into painting. And when the children were really small, it was really easy. I mean, a lot of people are a bit anxious about having children and continuing in life, and are you going to still have your freedom? And you can have all of those things, because the children are coming into your life, you're welcoming them into your life, so they're really going to just be grateful that they're around you. And all the experiences that you continue to have throughout your life, they shouldn't really massively change for the children, I don't think, because you want them to learn and you want to inspire them. So that's for inspiration value. I think it's good if you don't massively change your whole life for them, because you can spend so many hours in a studio as a practicing artist. You can be like 9 to 10 hours in a studio all day. You're not socialising with people, your phone is off, you don't know what's happening in the world news. And it's fantastic to be able to do that, but at the same time, to be an artist, you need to know what's happening in the world around you. You need to be relevant to an extent, so people can understand what this is portraying or how it makes people feel. So you have to still be in touch with the world. And I just feel currently I'm not being so in touch with different parts of my world, and to be able to do the painting that I do. But I do feel happy because of the fact that I've been doing this for such a long time, since I was a teenager, and I still managed to do it whilst I had children. So it's something you can do. But I do think if you have like a huge amount of support, it does help.
So now on to, in terms of your artistic career, what would you say was your biggest success, and how did you achieve it?
I have actually had quite a few. I have actually.
Yes.
I have to be honest, I've done quite well as an artist. And that doesn't necessarily mean like, you know, the financial side. But I think with my whole purpose from the beginning and my whole desire and aim within my 5-year plan was reputation. And reputation is so much more important than anything else. And everybody knows me everywhere I am, in West Yorkshire, in Manchester. They know I'm an artist. And that's what I want, you know. I want, you know, when I've passed on to a new world, that everybody knows Jemimah was an artist. That's most important. And then I'm a good artist, and they want to buy my work, and they think what I do is valuable, and I think that's most important. So that has been my highlight.
It's been statistically proven that things are much more difficult for women in the art world, let alone minority women. So I just wanted to know if you've personally experienced any kind of prejudice or anything obvious that made you feel like, okay, there's a bit of a glass ceiling here that I need to push through, or not.
Well, yeah, there's elitism in the art world, massively. Still is always going to be. And that's just how it is. When I was younger and I was selling my art and I was socialising, I would look around. Only now, because I didn't see like race as an issue. If I'm completely honest, I don't see myself as a colour. I see myself as an artist mostly. I rarely look in the mirror because I'm mostly looking at a canvas and mixing paint and inhaling toxic fumes. So that's never really been a problem, my aesthetic. However, now that I'm a bit older, I do look around and I think to myself, oh my gosh, I'm the only black person in the room, like there'll be nobody else. And then I suppose if I think about it now, you are kind of like a commodity in this like, oh, this exotic thing you have. Like, and she's so exotic with this hair and this skin colour, and she paints and she's clever, and you're sort of seen as like a darling pet. So I think, however, I mean, I wasn't treated like that, but when you think about it, I suppose if you're the only person there and there's like 100 people outside the door who can do exactly the same thing, and they're only letting in a few people, then that's not good. That does have to change. Which is why I do focus, which I've always been focusing on really as an artist. I have been aware of the lack of racial ratios exhibited in galleries, and I'm not just talking about that as a black person. I'm talking about that as I'm not an Asian person, but for Asian people, there's not that many races represented. And I think it's so odd because actually white people are a minority, they're not majority. So so that's quite interesting, but their work is represented. So I was really saddened. And then I was really happy because I thought, well, you know, this is terrible, but at the same time, this just shows that there's so much work to be done.
How would you define success in the art world, firstly for yourself, and then secondly, in the wider context of the art world?
Well, success for myself, like I said, initially is reputation. That's most important. That's the successful thing. Because once you can establish that, then people will see you as a genuine somebody to invest in. So that's most important. You need to have that good foundation. And then also you be an inspiration to other people. And I've been used as like art projects already. Like recently I was used as an art project as a black female artist. that was really exciting, that was really sweet. So that was really important. So that's amazing. So that's what I'd like to do. I'm mostly interested in giving the things that are not necessarily something you can take into your house or people have to pay me for. I want to be important to people, that they remember me in their head and what I'm doing. So the fact that they're aware already that I focus a lot on black faces or ethnic faces, that's mostly important, because then they know that I'm a go-to person. And like I say, you know, minorities, apparently the minorities are not minorities, they're majorities. So that's a lot of people I'm getting, you know, I'm making an impact on. So that's most important. So that's a huge success to me already. And secondly, as an artist in the artist world, I think success is a bit of a difficult one, because, you know, I'm not really into bureaucracies. So I suppose the cliche thing would be to say that I'm making loads of money and I'm in lots of galleries. But obviously that is important. You do need that as well. That's secondary to the primary factor of why you're doing it. So that is important. And to have the collections, because once people are buying your collections and you're in galleries, it means not only are you being vocal and visual where you live, but then internationally and nationally is really important. And so people know that this is a good place, this is coming from a good place, we need to look at this more, and then that is a success when that happens. So that will be the ultimate success.
Okay. So if you could go back in time to 16-year-old Jemimah,
Yeah.
when you were just starting out, what advice would you give yourself?
Don't waste lots of money on things you don't need to spend money on. That's one thing. Yeah. And I would just say that mostly, because I spent so much money on things I didn't have to spend money on. There's so many ways around it. But to be completely honest, 16-year-old Jemimah didn't have YouTube. So that's really helpful, because you get so much advice from other people and other artists, you know, internationally, and people who've had experience and are willing to share that. But I think for younger people and people who are influenced by you and who you inspire, I think it's a good idea to just be good and moral. And I think the best thing for a young Jemimah at 16 is to really think, what do you really, really, really want? But I have to be completely honest. I mean, I went to the National Portrait Gallery when I was 5, and I knew what I wanted to do from then, and I've stuck exactly to the same thing. So even though some people say, oh, you're all over the place, I think, no, I've had the same career all my life. I've never deviated from that. So I think I've done quite good.
What about if you had a young 16-year-old girl come to you now, a complete stranger, who is saying, Jemimah, I really look up to you. What advice would you give for my career going forward? What would you say to her?
To be an artist?
Yeah.
Think about if you really want to be an artist. Because, you know, I've only really started making friends in the last couple of years. I've been mostly a friendless person for a really long time. That's not sad, it's because that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to paint. I didn't want to socialise, I didn't want to go clubbing. I didn't want to do that. So just really think about if that's what you want to do, because it's quite a lonely world being an artist. And I was just super lucky that I even got married, and I was super lucky I even had children. I don't know how that one happened, but you know, that did happen. But I think if anybody asked me for that, I'd just really say consider it if this is what you really want to do, and to be really realistic. Because I think realism is not something that's promoted that much in the modern world, really. So to really lay out your plan, like what do you really want from it? What do you expect from it? What are your realistic expectations? And who are you doing it for? And just really, I want them to really ask themselves and question themselves thoroughly before they decide to go on it. Because it is expensive, even if you're not spending lots of money. It's kind of lonely. I'm not making it sound like a depressing world. It's a fantastic thing, because this is part of my spirit and my nature. So if it's part of somebody's nature, then they'll do it and they'll be fantastic anyway, regardless of my advice or not. But I think it's something you need to really think about.
Hello, welcome back. Thanks very much for joining me for that edition of Art Discussion with me, Adelaide Damoah, and Jemimah Canegrati. If you'd like more information about Jemimah, please do click the link in the description bar below, and you'll be able to go straight to her website and all of her social media channels. Now, are you an artist who's just beginning in your career and you're currently looking for advice? Or are you an artist who is already on the journey and are just looking for some inspiration? Or are you someone who just has a real passionate interest in artists and in their lives, and just have some questions of your own? If so, please do comment in the comment section below and let me know what questions you would like me to ask the next artist who I interview for this series. Because what I want to do is to pass on as much information to you as possible which is useful and inspirational to you, and which helps you along on your journey. Anyway, until next time, do take care. Bye.